Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. In this video, we will study the classification of enzymes and also about holoenzymes. Classification of enzymes has been done and they are being divided in 6 classes. Remember, these are the classes that are made by the scientists, so we have to follow the order which is being given by them. So the first class is oxidoreductases. If you take the example of any of the enzyme, be it amylase, carboxylase, sucrase, what is common in all these enzymes? All these are ending with the suffix ase. So whenever you are getting a word ending with ase, 99.9% chances are there that they are talking about an enzyme. So the first class includes the enzymes which are known as oxidoreductases. Means they will be helping in the oxidation and reduction reaction. Means they will help in carrying on the redox reactions. And redox reactions, I hope these are clear to you, that one substrate goes oxidation and another undergoes reduction. Next class includes the transferases, and it includes all such enzymes that help in the transfer of one functional group to the other. The third class includes hydrolases that helps in bringing the hydrolysis. Fourth includes lyases, and lyases always helps in the breakdown. Fifth includes the isomerases, and they help in bringing the isomerization. Last class includes the ligases that helps in joining of two structures together, right? Remember, please don't get confused between lyases and ligases. Students make mistake, that's why I am telling you. Lyases will help in the breakdown. Ligase will always act as forming a bond. We will study the role of ligase in grade 12 when we will study DNA replication. So your task is to remember these classes in a serial order. First class is oxidoreductase, then transferase is the second class, third class is hydrolases, fourth is lyases, fifth is isomerases, and sixth one is ligases. Okay, now let's move on to the holoenzymes. What are holoenzymes? Now, holoenzymes are a special category of the enzymes which are formed by the union of apoenzyme plus a non-protein part is very much required until they will not function. So they have a proteinous part which is known as apoenzyme and a non-proteinous part. So holoenzymes, they will be functional only when a non-protein part will be attached to the apoenzyme. Now this non-proteinous part could be of three types. It could either be a prosthetic group, it could be a coenzyme, or it could be a cofactor. Okay. So to the apoenzyme, any of these non-proteinous part may attach: prosthetic group, coenzyme, or the cofactor. Now prosthetic group is the one which is very tightly bound to the proteinous part or the apoenzyme. Okay. Coenzyme is loosely bound to the apoenzyme. Let's take an example of peroxidase and catalase enzyme they have heme as the prosthetic group. So peroxidase and catalase enzymes, these are functional. Peroxidase and catalase, they fall in the category of holoenzyme because beside containing the proteinous part, they have non-protein part as well, which is heme. And heme falls in the category of prosthetic group because it is very tightly bound to the apoenzyme. Now let's come on to the coenzyme. As I said, these are the non-proteinous part which are loosely bound to the apoenzymes. So it includes majority of the vitamins. NAD is one of the coenzyme which participates in majority of the metabolic reactions. So NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Okay, so NAD is an example of coenzyme. These examples are to be learned thoroughly. Cofactor includes the metal ions which attach with the apoenzyme. It could be magnesium ion in the case of kinases. So any enzyme which has suffix kinase, they will only function once magnesium ion is attached to them. This enzyme will come when we will discuss the respiration process, and basically they participate in the glycolysis and the Krebs cycle. So kinases are those enzymes that work only when they have cofactor magnesium ions with them. Another cofactor is zinc, which is very important, and it works as a cofactor with carboxypeptidase enzyme. Carboxypeptidase is one of the vital enzymes that is secreted in the pancreatic juice, and it helps in the digestion of proteins. So once again, let's recapitulate. Holoenzymes are not specifically proteinous in nature. They contain a protein part which is apoenzyme, and along with the protein part, non-protein part is also there. If non-protein part is not attached, holoenzyme will not be functional. So non-proteinous part could be prosthetic group, it could be coenzyme, or it could be cofactor. Now, our prosthetic group is the one which is tightly bound to the apoenzyme. So example includes peroxidase and catalase enzymes in which the prosthetic group is heme. Heme is an iron containing prosthetic group. Coenzymes are the non-proteinous parts which are loosely bound to the apoenzyme. It includes NAD, which stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotides. It's a derivative of vitamin B. Cofactor are the metal ions which once get attached to the apoenzyme, then only it will form the holoenzyme and it will be functional. Kinases falls in this category. Until magnesium ions are not provided to the kinases, they will not be functional. Similarly, if zinc ions are not provided to the carboxypeptidases, they will also not be functioning. So this much only in this video. In upcoming video, we will talk about the competitive and the non-competitive inhibition. I hope you have understood the complete biomolecules. We are just one topic far, and then we'll finish up this chapter. I hope this was easy to understand. I'll be waiting for your comments. I am just anxious to read them in the chat box. If you have any query related to biomolecules, you can leave in the comment box. As soon as I'll see, I will definitely revert. I hope you have subscribed to my channel. If not, please do so and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.